Once a month, when the moon is where the sun was when we were born, our sun sign. When the moon is in the position the sun was when we were born, a special fluid or oil or energy is secreted in the brain. It goes down the spine and it stays in the sacrum bone, down there by the tailbone. It stays there for about 3 days. 2.5 days to 3 days of the process. Then at the end of the 2.5 to 3 day process, it goes back up the spine, back up into the brain, illuminate the center of the brain, the blast of light and energy. It wakes up dormant parts of the brain that have been dormant. It wakes it up. You get new blood, everything gets rejuvenated. That sounds crazy to people who never heard of that. But here's the thing, our brain is always secreting fluids. We all hear about dopamine, right? That's being secreted from the thalamus gland. The pineal gland secretes melatonin. We all know about melatonin. It's secreting that every single night, secreting melatonin. Just means squirting it out, leaking it out. The pituitary gland is secreting serotonin. This is what they do with antidepressants. They give you high levels of serotonin. The pineal gland also secretes DMT. So all of these things are being secreted all the time in our brain. Our brain is sitting in fluid. The spine is in fluid. Cerebral spinal fluid is going down the spine and back up every single day, every single night. So this is not such a, how could that be? That's a crazy thing. This is happening all the time, whether we know it or not. Cerebral spinal fluid is going up and down. Our spine is sitting in fluid. Our brain is sitting in fluid. Another thing I like to point out, the spine is the root of the brain. It is not this hard metal thing to be pounded, crinkled, crackled around. It's part of our brain. There's intelligence up and down our spine. It is the full antenna. We are an antenna. The spine is an antenna. The pineal gland area, it's really the midbrain. Just think of it as the center of the skull, the center of the brain. This is the area that gets illuminated. It's not just the pineal gland. It's the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, the thalamus, the hypothalamus, and the optic thalamus. That whole area forms an area in the brain where in between all that is a little tiny space they used to call the cave of Brahma or the crystal palace. These all work together to form the third eye. Really, that's just the core of the brain, the center of our brain. What helps me a lot is to think of it as like a bubble inside the brain, like a little empty hole. When you think of that, you center it because it's in the center of the skull. I know we always focus right here, but it's really just in the center of our skull. And just think of it as it's the center of our brain. I really want to make all of us, humanity, to understand this is not a mystical, mysterious thing that they make it. They make it like this because whenever you read about the pineal gland or the third eye, they make it like maybe people say, they make it like this mystical mystery. And that's part of the trick, really, that tricks us. This is the center of our brain. This is the most important part of our brain. It's the center and it's the top of the antenna. So imagine, when you pull out one of these antennas, like one of those old ones on a radio or TV, whatever. The spine is the antenna, and that top piece, that's in the center here. And it is a receiver and a transmitter. It can project light and receive light. It can send information and receive information. But it's not just this side thing. It's the center core of your brain. It's the pit of the fruit. So that's the third eye center. What happens is when we're born, we really get cut in half. This is the problem. Humans are way 1,000 times more amazing than we know. When I tell you this is a process that betters yourself, it doesn't just go like, come on, man, you be your best self and you be a little bit better. No, I'm telling you, you're 1,000 times, you're built 1,000 times better. You are a light being. It's not superhuman because it's just human, but it will seem like you're superhuman with the abilities that we actually have born in us. What happens is we're born and we immediately get cut in half because we go, pick a side, pick a hand, left or right. We don't care, but pick a hand. Now use that hand for everything. Use it for everything you ever do. Well, that means we're not using a whole half of our brain because we have two halves of the brain. We have this side controls this side. This side controls this side. What happens is we become right-handed. They push everyone to right hand. The left hemisphere of the brain, which controls the right side of the body, that's the thinking mind, the analytical mind. It sees the little detail, but it traps all of us in the thinking brain, analytical brain. We're missing out on this other half of the brain, which is the creative side, the side that sees the whole picture, the side that's connected to the whole subconscious, to the universal mind. to everything, everything beyond it. This is like the 90% of the brain. So what happens is we just choose one side, mostly the right side. They push almost everyone right-handed. So that we're using this little tiny part right here. That's 50% of us right there. When we're born, our pineal gland and the whole third eye center, the center of our brain, is active and awake. It's actually one of the first things that develops, even when we're born, is the pineal gland, the brain up there. It's one of the first things. This is why when we're children, we have these psychic abilities. We see things. It's just active. We have these abilities. This is why age 0 through 7, children remember past life experiences and stuff. They just have psychic ability, but no one teaches them about that. And we just ignore it. We ignore all this. Also, the way our society is built by the people who have been in control for so long, all the things they give us to eat and Wi-Fi, everything destroys the pineal gland. So it cements shut the center of the brain. The core of our brain gets like covered in cement or just a covering because the things we have like fluoride destroys the pineal gland. Look it up right there on Google. They'll tell you that fluoride lowers the IQ. Literally, they'll tell you that first thing on Google. They hide everything. They'll tell you that fluoride is poison. It lowers your IQ. It literally dumbs down human beings. They put fluoride and everything. Aluminum, terrible for the pineal gland. It's in everything. It gets clogged. It's all done to clog up the brain. Wi-Fi, terrible for the pineal gland. Terrible. Because think about it. When you put aluminum foil in a microwave, they say, don't ever do that. It explodes, right? They put aluminum in the pineal gland, then they blast us with EMF, electromagnetic frequencies. They're frying our brain. They're destroying the core center of the brain. Think about that now. They cut us in half, and then they block the center of it. Then they go, oh yeah, you only use 10% of the brain, human being. Yeah, by design. Once we clear that, we can clear it. That's the good news. Our pineal gland becomes calcified. It's cemented shut. The core of our brain cemented shut. We have this antenna. Information's coming in, but it's blocked. It's covered. We don't have this balanced mind and body. Everything, it throws us off balance. This side of the brain, the thinking side, is where we're trapped in, and we're just like trapped in this analytical. So what this process does is it gives us a chance to reignite the brain, wake up the brain again, and clear the center of the brain. It clears it and brings us back to what we're supposed to be. Then we can learn to use our abilities. And I'm telling you, it's just a fact. I've now proven it over and over again, and everything is done with technique. It's miraculous what happens with this process, but at the same time, it's done by technique. We can all learn to do it, and we're all meant to do it.